Good afternoon, it's Dan Howe, PTI Securities and Futures with your market wrap-up for Tuesday, July 26th. The overnight session was relatively narrow range. Most of the time overnight the S&Ps were in the positive territory, but turned lower a little bit after the opening. The overseas markets were mixed, both in Asia and in Europe. The fundamentals today with the Case-Schiller index came in a little bit disappointing. The new home sales also a little bit disappointing. Consumer confidence, however, was a little bit higher than expected, so the fundamental news was a little bit mixed here today. The main news today is still out of Washington. Obviously, yesterday's press conferences, or dueling press conferences, was not received very well overnight. You know, the earnings today, for the most part, were a little bit better. Weren't huge, but I mean, we had Cummings that was actually a little bit better, and a couple other companies that were actually a little bit better. So fundamental news on the earnings side is actually a little bit positive, continuing to be a little bit positive, because we still have about 80% of the companies actually beating expectations. However, we traded down during most of the day. The SPX closed down 5 at 1331. The Dow closed down 91 at 12,591. NASDAQ, which has been the strongest index lately, closed down 1 at 2422. But the amazing thing about this is the U.S. bonds still seem to be trading in a very narrow range, and considering the fact that we're really talking about potentially their default, it's kind of amazing that they haven't journeyed much. Matter of fact, in the last 7 weeks, the 10-year note yield on a 10-year note has been hovering right around 3%. It dipped a little bit below there today, closed at 2.95, but still relatively narrow range given the fact what's going on. The dollar, the story was very weak today. The dollar index closed at 75.31, down almost a full point. Coming up tomorrow, we have the durable good orders. We also have the Fed's beige book. During the trading day today, we saw a continued increase in volatility. Gave us, we talked about yesterday, the fact that we were looking for a volatility increase in the out months so we can put on a calendar spread. One of those we got on today, the XLE. We got almost a 5-point volatility difference by selling the August, or buying the August and selling this Friday's July. The rest of the indexes are heading in that direction, but are not yet far enough apart where we can actually take advantage of it. This has been Dan Howe, PTI Securities and Futures.